The mentor awakes within to start the journey of the Maven. When the mentor awakens within your body, it's like an activation of something that you know is going to be so powerful and so deep that it sparks this beginning of something that's going to be amazing, something that's, even though you don't know what it looks like, it's going to evolve into something that is so powerful, and you can feel it, and you know it's within you, and it's highlights those particles within you that are ready to awaken. It's having those dormant codes of your being that have been sitting there for so long but have still been there the whole time start to awaken. If you've ever been camping or lit a bonfire before, you know it always starts from that tiny spark, just that ember of friction between two things that starts that spark that's igniting something new. That's what I think the mentor is. It's not about waking up one day and going, oh, I am now the mentor. I know and understand everything. It's more of that spark of that search for a deepening and an even greater awakening of knowledge and understanding that is only going to be true and held for us in a way that only we can see, and not in the way that we just use that knowledge and we show other people and we share it with others and become a mentor. It's more about becoming the mentor for ourselves. Even though the mentor traditionally is looked at as when the original seeker or the person who's on their hero journey looks to the mentor to guide them and to support them. The way I am embodying the mentor and the way that I want to speak about it is the mentor within. And yes, as we sort of bring that mentor to light in ourselves, within the codes of our own being, we are going to still exhume that experience and that knowledge and that deepening and that perspective across to others as well. So I just really want to dive into the mentor and speak about it in a way of how I see it and how I believe this is the start towards the Maven journey, and how this is the catalyst that ignites that flame that builds this archetype within you. We see a mentor as someone who has been on that path before and is supporting or helping someone along that journey. We look to a mentor as that person's already done it. That person has already been there. That person can support me along my journey because I may be perceiving that I am not in the same space as that person. So I look to someone else to help guide me through or towards whatever my next step is. And I understand what that is as someone who has looked to other people, especially the way that when you first open your mind to new information and new understandings and new learnings, there is such a huge level of things that I didn't know that I knew I had to look to other people to help guide me and show me what knowledge they had and how they were becoming a mentor type role in the way that they were providing their own service or their own knowledge or their own codes into reality in the way that they were expressing themselves. But But the mentor within is still that person. It is still that person who's going to guide us. Because underneath everything, within the codes, within the DNA, within the bones and the essence of this physical being, energetically and physically, we already have the codes of our own mentor. We already have someone who has been there and who can guide us along this path. In the beginning, we look outside of ourselves towards a mentor to help us. But part of that journey is coming back to the mentor within. It's an ethereal presence that walks alongside us, but within us, to help us on this transformative journey. I see the mentor as someone who has all that ancient wisdom and knowing. They don't need to reflect or constantly speak about that ancient wisdom or the histories of people past, of our lives past. It's the embodiment of those stories and the lessons and experiences through those tales that we use to allow us to grow towards the mentor within. I believe the mentor can also transcend through time and space, which, as we start to take on our own knowings and our own understandings, we realize that the existence that we thought we had within our time and space reality is actually nothing like we had been believing, nothing like we had thought of, maybe as children or when we were growing up. It's understanding the many layers and depths to our existence, not just as these energetic beings, but as someone who can move through time and space, and even without having definitive answers to what they are, we understand that there is such intricate workings of this existence that we truly don't have an answer to. And the answer is only going to be the one that we find within. And the way that we can do that is by embarking on our own MAVEN journey, by awakening the mentor. The mentor awakens our quest for self-mastery. And those words, self-mastery, popped into my head only a week or so ago, and it was that's what we're really here to do. It's not how I used to see it of I'm here and I want to be over there, or I have this, now I want this. It's I want to master who I am. I want to be able to understand myself with such depth and understanding and allowance and love and wisdom and growth that I get to experience every part of our existence through this journey in our own self-mastery, because everything existing around us is based on what we have created from within us. Instead of us looking at the things from the outside in, we look at them from the inside out. That's how we are able to really dive deeper into who we truly are. Because I truly believe that we are made of this shimmery stardust, built upon colored-coded energetic frequencies of the etherical streams of this universe. And if you can imagine what glitter looks like, and then finally grind it down and add a luminescence layer to it, and think of all the places it has been and how old it is and how many different experiences it has already had, how many different forms of existence it has already had, and all these little tiny particles of stardust, these shimmering, luminescent pieces of stardust that are from other worlds and other dimensions and different historical times, not just in this earth, but across the multiverse and beyond that, beyond our understanding of the depth of how big our existence could be, and put all that into these tiny particles. That's what makes us up. That's how I see our existence. So when we're looking at the mentor within, we are just pulling out those coded pieces of stardust, and it's bringing them onto a stage. It's allowing them to shimmer in the way that they want to be seen, in the way that they want to shine and show us who they are and where they've been and how they can guide us in this physical form of this earthly existence and this time and place that we're in right now. The mentor isn't going to be something that would just come in and say, go and do this thing. It is something that will give you gentle guidance. It encourages you to search deeper within, to really allow that stardust and those shimmery, luminescent particles of who you are come to light, to permeate within and to be seen and bring a different point of view or a different feeling or a different idea or a different expression into your physical existence. It's the highest vibrational frequency of our energetic being that we have. And I used to be someone that fully believed that this physical being was a physical being and an energetic soul. As I have delved across my own journey through understanding more of who I am, I really feel like they aren't actually separate things anymore, and they're embodied as one. The soul essence of who we are is made up of that stardust. I feel that it is an intricate part of our physical being. It's no longer this energetic essence that I could see that could escape from this physical body and move to other places. Instead, I see it as this embodiment within these hard pieces of who we are, and whether that is part of my journey from thinking that they were separate and seeing the way that we could release and move parts of our soul outside of our physical being and then bring it back to more of knowing that it's just part of who we are, could be part of my own journey and my own mentor journey and understanding more of who I am. Because I feel like that soul part is built into the cells of my being, and as we are constantly changing and those cells are constantly growing and becoming new, it's the way that we are holding on to the pieces that we want, to those illuminated pieces of the truest essence of who we are, which is part of the journey of us becoming the ultimate being, becoming the MAVEN, becoming the awakened soul. Because as those cells are duplicating and changing the physical parts of who we are, and as we're moving through our own understandings and our own awarenesses and any shadows or beliefs or any of those things that are holding us back, as we're releasing them, our cells are releasing them. We are removing them from our DNA. We are releasing them from our physical body. So as we're duplicating and replicating ourselves over and over and over again, we just become more illuminated. Those stardust particles become more of that truest essence of who we are. They are shining more brightly And within that, that's what becomes the truest version of who we are. And we see things in different ways, and we allow things in different ways, and we create in ways that we may not have ever thought possible. But it's because these codes, this illumination of who we are was buried so deep within us that it didn't know how to shine, and we may have not even known it was there. It was only through this journey of allowing those layers of who we are to release and move on as we step through these different creations and these different experiences that allow them to truly shine. And we know that the things around us will reflect our current belief and our current understanding of what we are holding to be true right now. If there are things that we don't like that are happening for us within this outside world, there is something within that we may need to look at. There are these cryptic riddles or emotional feelings or experiences that will be brought to us, and it's in the way that we react to them. It's in the way that we feel about them that will guide us towards what we need to feel about that, what we need to look at, what we need to try something else on with. Maybe it's something we need to learn more. Maybe it's an emotion that is not serving us. Maybe we uncovered another belief. Maybe it's we need to try something different. Either way, those experiences, the people and the things that happen around us are the things that are guiding us on this mental journey. We are constantly being brought not just big things and things that shake your world, but these little things within our lives that question everything that we may have thought that we'd locked down in a belief, to really see if there's still more essence of that. Is there more of that thing that you had been working on, that you were trying to release, that's now come back in a different way? Are you still reacting to it? Are you still holding on to it? Sometimes when we are moving through things and working on things, you think about us as these billion-year-old energetic beings. There's a lot of coding in there from a lot of experience and a lot of who we are that we are working on just changing. So it's not going to happen in an instant. We can make the decision for it to do that, and we may release some things like that, but there are things that, whether they're attached to other things, whether they're coded with other things, whether we just decide we want to hold on to them, there's still things that we get to look at. They're the things that are being expressed to us in this outside world, whether it's within our physical body, within our bank account, within our relationship, our business, whatever it is. They are things that are going to help us on this journey, and finding a way to look at them without judgment and without putting an end meaning onto it, and looking at it more of a place for us to really look at and see where we can use that, is going to serve us in the best way. It's going to allow us to take that moment, to take the tools, the raw materials of a being that we already have around us, and look at it and turn it into something else. Because even though sometimes experiences may look like, I don't like that experience, we use that as that tool to help us to get us to our next level. Whether it's accepting it, whether it's looking at it, whether it's absorbing it, whether it's reflecting it, rejecting it, sending it back, moving it somewhere else. Either way, that is what we are using to help us where we're at right now. That is the thing that's going to help us continue to move forward along our journey. And many times these will really awaken different parts of our consciousness. We will have these thoughts and we'll be like, oh, where did that come from? Or we will be guided to learn something new. We will be led towards a new person, a new idea. And it's through that is giving us those codes for our next step. There's never going to be just one step. There's going to be many different steps, and not one of them is the right path. It is just a path. The way that I see our energetic codes of existence are these swirling, shimmery codes that just spin around and bounce around, up and down, through these different levels and layers next to each other. So if you think about, instead of being on this straight line from one point to the other point, that's not going to work for me. For me, it is these swirly lines, which allows us to sit, maybe spinning in this swirl, in this circle of ideas or beliefs. We jump off onto another one. But in that belief, there's depth. You think about these spirals as ones that come up and down, and we're up and down on the level of where we are holding our awareness, because we can look at it from just this physical 3D part of who we are. We can move up to the energetic frequency of our being and look at it from that point of view. Or we can go up and see it from an even bigger and zoomed out perspective of seeing it as this illusionary existence that has just been created for whatever reason or whatever truth you hold. So when we are making choices and when we are given those experiences for us to look at, we can't think about that as, oh, I have to make the right next step. Because there isn't going to be one. It's going to be the right step for you in that moment. No matter where you go along that path, they're all just swirly spirals, all part of your journey that all exist as in one big, great, call it whatever you like, ball of everything, source, oneness. It doesn't matter, but it's just still going to allow you to travel on your journey. It's still going to allow you to deepen and really still stay on that journey towards your self-mastery. There is a level of, I want to say the word as crypticity. I don't think that is a word. But there is a level of cryptic symbols and signs that are also seen along our journey, whether they're part of this human existence that we already see. Like right now there are crows outside making a noise, and if you understand any part of sort of symbolism or the way that animals reflect across different types of belief and mystical teachings, you will know that they hold certain understandings and knowings. But part of this journey not only awakens some of those ideas, it'll create new ones. You can be exposed to brand new ideas, brand new things that you see, brand new spiritual tools, if you will, of things that you never thought about and things that you can suddenly access, or things that you think about or see with your eyes or experience or hear or dream. For me, it's a multitude of many different things, but one of the things for me right now is every time I close my eyes, I see a different language, a different coded frequency, a different form of symbols. And it used to be one type every time I close my eyes, but now it's excessive. There's so many, and I just see that as different coded frequencies of those stardust particles of the different versions or the different understandings or beliefs or people or entities or versions I've been in. Doesn't matter what it is, it's just something that I now see, and that has just become part of my journey to understanding the depth and the expansion of how big my awareness can be, and how there are endless possibilities to what those images and what those meanings can be, and I can bring them forward into artwork, into a language, into drawings, into the way that I may want to move my hands. There's so many ways that we can interpret those things, and we will be given our own inner visions or inner experiences that are going to be unique to us, and they may not always be things that you are going to share with others. They may just be for you. They may be just part of your journey and the way that you want to express or expand more of that embodiment of who you are. Because as we are on this mental journey, we presume that we've already left the understanding of just that 3D existence behind, and we know that there is so much of this metaphysical existence that we don't understand and we don't know. And as we journey from what feels like two different existences, there does seem to feel like there's this contradictory sort of teachings of what we were brought up with and what's been coded within us through our childhood, through our parents, that we are undoing and we are changing and we are contemplating, because unraveling those things that feel like they put us in two different worlds allows us to have more access to the other side of that. Once we start really unraveling those codes, we will start to dive more and more into the open concept of not really knowing and not really understanding, which sounds kind of counterintuitive to becoming a mentor, is the knowledge that we seek and the things that we understand just become even more blurry. The boundaries between our physical and our metaphysical is blurred. It's no longer this path of, well, I knew all these things when I was a 3D and I understood all these things. Now moving over here to this new awareness and this new understanding, why is there no solidity to it? Why can I not give it a concrete answer? Why can I not just sit in one idea or one thought and just stay in that? It becomes this evolutionary flow of energetics that to me can only be described as like a floating. It's like you invoke these unseen forces of the universe, and they're bridging the existence between our ethereal and our material worlds by showing us the fluidity between those two is literally just fluid. It is constantly changing and growing and moving through as these threads of what our creation is and what we are currently sitting in. If we go back to those spirals I was talking about and you see our existence, when we are moving up and down those spirals, if you think of it like a elevator, and we're moving up and down, and it's not in a hierarchical sense where it's, I'm only on this low level, but now I'm up. It's more of this flowy experience of moving through the different realms, of existing through the physical and the metaphysical, and like an ebb and flow of the ocean, how we move between the two by unraveling one to release another. We swing back over to one side in order to feel and understand and see and know one thing, and then we move back over to the other to exist in a place of open awareness and no true foundational understanding of what that actually means. And this is where we get to create from. This is where we really start to embody who we are, where we really deepen our knowledge is by knowing that there is no answers, that one question will open up another whole world of questions. That's how we continue to deepen our understanding. That's how we continue to find out more about who we are and our existence and our own evolutionary journey. It's not about seeking the answers, but asking more questions. As we sort of embark on holding on to that mentor as well, we will see that they are allowing us to see them as a protector of what we are moving through. They will try and shield us from the distractions and the illusions that try to take us off our path. We do still consciously need to make that choice to keep continuing on this journey, because we have the power within, we have the support within to take us down this path. And sometimes there are situations that feel treacherous, that feel turbulent. There are emotional upheavals and present us with such great doubt and uncertainty. We can sort of come off this mental path. We can go, okay, I'm deep within the mental, but oh my goodness, what's happened? I'm just sidetracked over here. This is when we need to decide we want to get back on that journey. This is where we make that choice. We still have choice. We are not going to be constantly just thrown back on the path time after time. We still need to make those choices. The guidance is there. We will still be receiving nudges and ideas and thoughts and the truth and embodiment of who we are pushing us towards it. But ultimately, it's still up to us to make that decision. And that is part of the mental journey, is becoming so aware of who you are and what is happening that you can still make that choice when you are in the throes of things that do not feel anything like what you want them to feel. That is where we find that power within ourselves, and then we move towards us instead of us believing that something else is guiding us and helping us, to understanding that it's us. We are guiding ourselves. We are mentoring ourselves. We understand that we have our own divinity and we're embodying our own wisdom, and we're allowing that to come to light. We learn to trust our intuition. We learn to understand the difference between our ego or our saboteur or the things that look like they're working for us, but they may not be. We get to discern through that and see what we are working on and see what we want to listen to and see what is guiding us. We also get to listen to our heart and sit in the existence of whatever that is for you, whatever that connection to that center of your being is, and how you can just drop into your heart and everything just melts away. How that becomes the center of who you are. And when you use your heart combined with those codes of who you are, the luminescence of your existence mixed with your heart, you cannot fail. it's not about thinking in our mind and using it to tell us what to do. It's dropping into that center of our being and allowing the codes to shine through that. The brain is merely a tool to allow us to see and feel and understand that connection. We get caught up with thinking that we need to think about things, but the thinking part is just our physical representation of the energetics of the essence of who we are. It's the way that our physical body can understand the journey that we're on and the things that we're learning and the things that we're embodying to be able to still bring all of this back into this reality that we're existing in right now. In the whole tapestry of this spiritual journey towards self-mastery, we become this luminous guide for ourselves. We are a celestial force that imparts our own wisdom and ignites that flame within us. And we can see that flame as our heart. If you need visuals to help you really embody this, I invite you to create your own. If you can imagine the way that the flame ignites and starts within, whether it's within your whole body, whether it's within the codes of your being, whether it's within the center of your heart, and you see it and you feel it and you can watch it become bigger, and know that that is something that is sparking something amazing within you, but you use the visualization as the tool to help your brain understand. Even though our brain is a tool for our connection to the etherical existence out there, we can still use it in a way that allows us to see and feel things so that it can understand. It's still part of this human body. It's still part of our experience. So if we can train it to start to get on board with these new ideas, it's going to help us understand and embody this feeling a lot more. I create my own fantasy illusions in order for my brain to really sit into the endless possibilities of thought and ideas and existence. And even though it sounds non-spiritual, but watching or reading magical stories of fantasy and possibilities outside of our normal realm of existence is what expands our brain into those new thoughts and ideas. So when you are reading books like Harry Potter or you're watching a superhero movie, it's getting our brain to think about a different type of possibility. If you're watching a movie or reading a book and it's telling you a story of something that you probably haven't seen in your physical resistance, you would be like, okay, so that's a possibility. Our brain does not know the difference between truth and reality. It just absorbs information and takes it on board, and it's just like a computer where it, files it over here or files it over there. But if we are giving it these imaginary illusions and fantasy creations, we're allowing it to expand and exist in a place where there is endless possibilities. If you are just thinking mainstream and thinking about the things that we already see every day and the things that happen every day, we're just going to bring more of that into our reality. But when we expand our mind with that openness and those new thoughts and ideas and, made up characters or illusions or tales or experiences, we're really going to allow that brain to expand into a place which just opens up this endless possibility of outcomes. And as we sort of sit more into that, we start to really sort of build this bond between the mentor archetype within and the essence of our own individuality, because we are all so unique in so many ways. Even if we are embodying our own awarenesses, and even if we are connecting people who are similar to us, we're still going to hold our own level of who we are and uniqueness. The more we step into the mentor role, the more we really embrace the being of who we are, we will really find the truest version of what we could be. And I don't believe it stays there. I believe it constantly changes and constantly grows, because that's what the universe is doing. That's what our existence is doing. That's what our physical body is doing. Everything is constantly changing and moving and growing. And in order for us to exist in that in the best way we can, we need to get on board with that, and we need to do the same thing as that. We need to embody and deepen and understand along this journey to help us as we are really embodying this mentor type. And as we journey through that, we start to accept all the different aspects of who we are. We start to bring them all in and take them all on board as us, on board as part of us. We embrace our shadows. We don't hide away from them. I created my own sort of way to deal with them, of sort of getting myself into this deep dark space and creating this pit of fire and allowing the shadows to be seen and to present themselves as horror characters, and then sitting with them and talking to them and understanding them, but moving on to accepting of them and loving them and embracing them and bringing them in as part of who I am. Because all those experiences, all those things that we are holding within us, whether they are actual experience that we've had or ones that are coded in our DNA or part of our stardust, they're all the tools that are helping us really engage in the mental being. They allow us to bring in all those parts of who we are. We get to delve into the places that they are being held within our own psyche and our subconscious, and pull those fragmented pieces of our being together into this place, so we can transcend any of those limitations that we're seeing, or our ego, and really expand our consciousness into a deeper awareness that allows us for this continual growth and expansion. But remember, as you sort of allow all these pieces of you in, as you sit in those dark moments, maybe you've already been through those dark moments, maybe you are just now embodying, there is a powerful piece of it where we just need to surrender and allow our mental part of who we are to stand as a pillar of this unwavering strength, as this guide through this level of transformation, just reminding us of the power that we have within and how resilient we are and how many things that we've already been through and we've already made it, and knowing that we don't have to experience horrible trials in order for us to achieve greatness. But if we look at the experiences that we've already had and understand that we have those capabilities and that power to move through them, we will see the way that even though we're sparking this flame, that if we are burning things around us down, it's like the phoenix from the ashes. It's using those parts of us and understanding those parts of us to transform them and transcend them into something that really makes us who we are, that gives us that essence and depth of the truth of our being. Because as we're using all of them, we get to spread our wings. We get to soar. We get to move towards that self-mastery of truly understanding who we are. We become this presence of knowing and understanding, and you really find yourself moving to a place of less about sharing your experience and the way you've moved through things with others. You move into a place of knowing, a place of being this shimmery star shining amongst the billions and billions of other stars in the galaxy, knowing that you have achieved your own level of deepening and knowing, and have created this bond with the essence of who you are, with all of the essences of who you are, because you've trusted in your own intuition, you've listened to your own wisdom, you've allowed the teachings of your own mentor, and they've led you down this journey where you've got to experience all these different mysteries of life and the endless possibilities of experiences, not the ones that you're in right now, not just the ones that you've had, but the ones that are ahead of you as well. It is such a divine expression of who we are when we can sit in the mentor archetype, when we can see how the mentor is a catalyst that awakens our dormant potential. It allows us to see the sovereignty in how we can guide our own self through anything, and we become a master of our own destiny. And what emerges is the genius, unique, authentic version of self with our own enigmatic wisdom, and with our own level of wisdom and unwavering acceptance and knowing of the truth of who we are, finding ourselves in that place of pure power as we walk along our own sacred path and ascend to the realms of divine mastery. Now, that vision of the mentor archetype is the way that I see it. The way that you will see it may be different. The way that you bring in the mentor is something that's going to be unique to you. But I would love you to take the next few moments to close your eyes and sit in the center of your own being, whether it's through breathing or sitting in your heart, or whatever it is you like to do to really just get into that embodiment of your own mentor and that essence of what that is and who that is for you, and just sit in that for the next few moments and see what you can feel into, what you can bring forward, and how you can use the mentor as the very first step towards becoming your very own maven.